Just a little bit of a disclaimer. The video that you are about to see is in no way attacking women who have had an abortion, because they can find forgiveness in Jesus Christ. God does not approve of the act of abortion, but He still loves the person who has had an abortion. So, if that is you or anybody in your family, just know that we are not personally attacking that, people who have had it, but we know, and we are taking the firm stance, that it is a sin in the eyes of God. So this video is meant to serve as kind of a spiritual look at today's political scene, but not as an attack. With that being said, enjoy the video. Hey everyone, it's Cody Porter from Cody Porter Ministries, and today I've got a very special message about the political scene in today's society. It's called the Molech Spirit Unleashed. Now, if you've studied the Bible for any length of time, the term Molech is not going to be all that foreign to you. It's actually very important in the Bible. It was mentioned 8 times in Hebrew Scripture alone, and 5 of which are in the same book. Of course, I'm talking about Leviticus 18, 20, 21, and also Leviticus chapter 20, verses 1 through 5, which is what I want to read today. Leviticus 20, verses 1 through 5. It says, "The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Say to the people of Israel, any one of the people of Israel, or of the strangers who sojourn in Israel, who gives any of his children to Molech, shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. I myself will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he has given one of his children to Molech, to make my sanctuary unclean, and to profane my holy name. And if the people of the land do at all close their eyes to that man, when he gives one of his children to Molech, and do not put him to death, then I will set my face against that man, and against his clan, and cut them off from among their people, him and all who are with him, and whoring after Molech." So this is a very interesting thing, because here we have Molech, who was a Canaanite god. God, of course, with a lowercase g. He was an idol. He was an idol in the shape of a bull. And Molech would have his arms stretched out, and a fire was built between his arms. And people, in order to worship him, would come and pass little kids, babies, between his arms and burn them up in the flames. And that child sacrifice was their way of worshiping Molech. But you see, the thing is, God despised that. He despised that. And of course he did, for numerous reasons, but mainly because that child was innocent, and it was an innocent being made in the image of him, and he did not want that sacrifice to a false god. But you know what? Let's look at this for a second. Let's look at this in the Hebrew, kind of break it down. So Molech comes from the Hebrew word Melech, M-E-L-E-K, and it translates king. It translates king. But you know, Molech was also sometimes spelled Me'eloch, M-A-E-L-O-C-H, and Ma is give, El is God, and Och is bull. So it's saying give to the bull god, or give to the bull king. And that's what they would do. They would give these kids over in a sacrifice to the bull god, to the bull king, as a way of worshiping him. But you know, Molech was not the only one in this time. There were many places that had variants of this false god. Carthage had Baal Haman, and that was an idol. And they would sacrifice children to this idol. Archaeologists have found evidence of this. And Baal Haman had the same inscription, M-L-K, meaning the king, found at the site where this worship would go on. You know, the Phoenician god, Cronus, most of you probably know him as Saturn, he was a leader of the first generation Titans in Greek mythology, and he actually ate children. Think about that, he ate children. But you know what? People worshipped these guys. People worshipped these false gods, these idols, these demonic spirits, and they would sacrifice their kids to them. So what made them do that? Well, I'm here to submit to you that it wasn't just the idol, it was not the carved stone, but rather it was a demonic spirit at work behind the scenes that was seducing these people to do these horrible acts in the name of false gods. But you know what? That's something that we're doing today. You know, just the same spirit that was behind false gods like Molech is still evident in the political scene today. Here's some statistics for you. In 2015 alone, there were 638,169 abortions. That's 188 abortions for every 1,000 live births. Think about that. 638,169 in 1 year alone. In 2016, there were 623,471 abortions. That means there's 186 abortions for every 1,000 live births. So think about this. 5 years ago, there were 638,169 abortions. The site that I was on to get this data said that they expected this to continue. So you got to take that 638,169 abortions and times it by 5, and that's the number we're at now. That's insane. That's insane. It's an epidemic. But see, I'm here to say that the spirit behind Molech, the spirit behind all these other false gods and idols, is making a reappearance in today's political scene. But you know what? Instead of making a king out of something in the shape of a bull, for instance, we are making a king out of a political stance. We are making an idol out of a woman's choice. And we are bowing down at the altar of woman's choice, when in reality it's something so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than that. You know, it is a miracle. It is a miracle whenever a child is born. Think about all of the systems inside your body. It's got to be working just perfect to sustain life. It's a miracle in and of itself that that baby is even alive when it's born. And then we take that and we kill the baby. Does that even make any sense? It doesn't. It doesn't. It's a miracle. We shouldn't do that to miracles. And you know, that baby is priceless. It is made in the image of God. It is made in the image of God. And we've got to protect that. We've got to protect that with everything we have. And we have to be careful when shedding innocent blood like that. You know, the Bible talked about God turning his face from the one who sacrificed to Molech, turning his face from the one who killed an innocent child, and cutting them off from their land and from their people. And then it also talks about not permitting somebody who sacrificed their child to Molech to live. Now, of course, today, we don't necessarily live by Levitical law, so we don't go out and stone people, but this principle should apply when it comes to voting time. You know, why would we vote somebody in who is pro-choice, who's okay with killing innocent babies? We can't do that. We can't allow somebody like that to have power. They shouldn't be able to speak on behalf of our country and on behalf of the Christians. We need to stand up. We need to, whenever it comes time for election time, we need to make sure that we're voting in a way that we don't let this Molech spirit resurface, and that we are standing up for life and the miracle and the gift that it is. But you know, we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful, because God does not take too kindly to the spirit of Molech that seduces people and allures people to kill innocent babies like that. He does not take too kindly for that. And as Americans in America, we really need to watch out. We do, because God does not want to see innocent babies murdered like that. Because you want to know why? Whenever a child is murdered and killed and aborted, you're not just aborting that child, but you're also aborting the will of God for that child's life. And you know what? That makes perfect sense. Why Satan, the spirit of Molech, would want you to abort that child. Because Satan knows, the spirit of Molech knows, that if that child grows up and God does a work in his life, and he gets on fire for God, that he is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the army of God, and Satan and the spirit of Molech does not stand a chance. So it makes perfect sense why Satan and the spirit of Molech would want to stop those kids from being born, because they're wanting to wipe out a generation of warriors for God before they even get started. And you know, I think of my own life. Of course, it wasn't an abortion story, but I think back to so many times in my life to where I should not be here. I should not be ministering in front of you, because situations could have gotten in the way. Situations could have stopped me from ministering, and Satan wants to do that. He wants to stop you, and he wants to snuff out your fire before it even gets started. And what better way than to make you not even get born in the first place, than to wipe out a whole generation of warriors for God before they even get started. So once again, whenever it comes down to election day, we need to make sure that we are stopping the spirit of Molech in its traps, in its steps, that we are not letting it rear its ugly head again like it did in Bible days. We're going to stop it, and we declare in the name of Jesus that we are not going to see another rise in the spirit of Molech, that we are going to stop, we are going to make sure that decisions like Roe versus Wade, they don't stand and they don't get passed again. But we need, for the future of the kingdom, we need to make sure that our kids have a future. And we need to make sure that we're voting and that we are warriors for life. And we are standing up in the face of the spirit of Molech and saying, you're not having our kids. You're not having our kids. Because they are going to become warriors for Christ. And that's really all I have for you today. I just want you to make sure and that you are opening your eyes and that you are seeing that some of these things, these false idols, these gods back in Bible days, the spirit that resided with them is still in the world today. It's still in the world today. And I believe that we are seeing a resurfacing of the Canaanite god Molech in the spirit, the demonic spirit that entice people to worship him by sacrificing their kids. I believe it. I really believe that we're seeing this resurface in the political scene today. So that's all I have for you. Thank you, and God bless.
Hey y'all, my name is Joseph Roland Hagen, and I am the media producer here at Cody Porter Ministries. And I have an update with some new announcements for everyone. First, I recommend that everyone goes to Facebook and checks out Cody's new release, The Egypt Complex, which he gave us a sermon last week at a local ministry center. Second, and I highly suggest you check this one out, is go to Cody's Facebook page and read the article Spiritual Alcatraz, where it is discussed how to escape the seemingly unescapable. Also, as a bonus, we'd love for you to watch the new video that Cody and his grandfather and evangelist Larry Ward did on the subject of who Jesus is and who Jesus is not. And we'd love for you to sign up for our new mailing list to get some new updates on a regular basis. And as a reminder, if you have any questions about the Bible, please email us at this email, and we'd love to answer them for you. Thank you, and God bless.